What's going on, everybody? Welcome to BucosLocker. Subscribe to the channel, like the channel, share all the videos. Don't forget to hit the notification bell icon to notify you all new videos that's posted on this channel. Shouts out to all the Pirates and Sea Bandits. Yeah, we're here. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. What's up? What's up? Better have a conversation. Let's talk. I'm up here. I'm watching the Commanders at the Bucs first game of the season. I'll be watching this I'll be watching this game as I have this conversation with you guys tonight. Prime time playoff preview. Washington Commanders at Tampa Bay Bucs. Another prime time game. You know how this works. Replaying the first game of the season. So let's have a conversation. Let me say this real quick. Prayers up. Oh, so prayers up to all the people in California. Prayers up to everybody in California right now. The wildfires. Hopefully, anybody got any family out there? Hopefully they safe. Um, it's a scary thing out there, man. The East Coast, Southeast got to deal with hurricanes. Up north deal with nor'easters. Midwest deal with tornado alley. Um, the West Coast deals with mudslides and wildfires. But prayers up to everybody in California, man. I seen the videos, man. I mean, that fire over there is wiping out so many homes. So many families are being displaced from their homes because of the fires, because of those wildfires, and it's a sad sight to see. People lose their livelihoods in a blink of a day. All their hard work, working, paying bills, and building a community and building a family. It all comes down like it's a crazy sight, man. It's crazy. Everybody can hear me, right? Let me do a mic check real quick. Mic check, mic check. Everybody can hear me? Mic check, mic check. This thing's been tripping. Okay, y'all can hear me now. Okay, cool. But yeah, okay, glad everybody can hear me. But yeah, so prayers up to everybody in California, man. It's sad, man. Sad sight to see. Um, so I'm watching the game right now. I'm a little under the weather right now. Watching the first game of the season, the Bucs and Commanders, and yeah, two teams that well, one of the teams. Well, let's start with the Bucs. Also, let me do this real quick. Shout out to the Bucs. Shout out to the Bucs. The Bucs just broke their team rushing record, 2,563 yards of rushing yards this season. 1,000 more than last season. Let that sink in, folks. Everything I told y'all about, if you give Baker Mayfield a run game and a top O-line, he's going to look really good. What's happening with him is what I expected. It's kind of like mirror image of the Cleveland situation. Top 5, top 10 O-line, top 5 run game. You're going to get the best version of Baker Mayfield. What we got this season was the best version of the Baker Mayfield. It was okay. But this year, we got the best version of Baker Mayfield. Easy throws. He led the NFL, I think, 16 interceptions? So, led the NFL in that. But, he was chucking the ball around. But that's what happens when you throw the ball a lot. So, when people talk about Baker Mayfield's interceptions, well, Liam Coen chucked the ball around quite a bit. And a lot of the chucking around, and I'm going to say this with a caveat here. When I say chucking the ball around, it wasn't like a lot of downfield throws. It was a lot of screens. Baker threw a lot of screen passes, a lot of quick dump-off flares, screen passes. He was one of the top quarterbacks in the NFL with a lot of yak. A lot of yak. And some of the quarterback metrics, he got dinged for that. His QBR, let me look it up. I'm gonna look all this information up for y'all because we're gonna have a good conversation. Baker Mayfield's played very well, right? For those of you that like PFF, he has a really good PFF grade, right? For those of you that like QBR, and I'm gonna get to that. Those of you that like EPA, which is the totality of the quarterback, strict plays, and if you are a yak merchant quarterback, Jared Goff, Baker Mayfield, you get penalized for that. And so I'm gonna give y'all these metrics. I'm gonna give y'all the metrics, the advanced metrics on some of the on the Bucs, and we'll get into that as the video progresses. But I just want y'all to see. This is what I was trying to explain to my powers and C bandits is when you talk about not just the Bucs, but when you talk about football, you can't leave context out to make your point look good. So tonight's conversation, we'll have a lot of context with the Bucs offense. There's going to be a lot of context behind the numbers. Hashtag what did your eyes tell you? Also, the numbers match too, right? You know what I'm saying? So we have to look at it like from a perspective of talking about football is fun to me. And this applies not just to the Bucs. This applies to any team. And I can literally talk about any team in the NFL and apply the same metrics as I apply it to the Bucs. I can apply it to the Commanders. I can apply it to Cowboys. I can apply it to the Eagles. It's across the board. It's not specifically for the Bucs, right? So let's keep that in mind. Let's put a little context behind that. I'm a little under the weather, so something going on with my throat, kind of losing my voice, but I'm trying to work through this. But as I watched this replay for the Bucs and the Commanders, the first game of the season, week 1, right? 2 teams, 10 or more wins. The Bucs was kind of expected to be in the position they are in now. And the Commanders, to be honest with you, nobody saw this coming. I didn't see the Commanders being this good. I think they're a year early, but we'll get into that. I think they're a year too early, but that's what happens when you have a coach, quarterback, GM, kind of matches up. Dan Quinn is not a bad coach. You know what I'm saying? Dan Quinn's kind of he's not a bad coach. Like he was in Atlanta. For those of you that don't remember, Dan Quinn coached the Atlanta Falcons for some years, and he was very successful. See, people tend to forget that he had winning teams in Atlanta. You know, when the NFC South had Cam Newton, Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, and of course we had Jameis Winston, but that division was crazy good with those quarterbacks. Matt Ryan in his prime, Drew Brees in his prime, still playing well, Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? The NFC South, I gotta say this, the NFC South was much harder back then than it is now. I think we can admit that, right? And do we agree with that? Because the NFC South now is Bryce Young, Derek freaking Carr, Baker Mayfield, and Michael Penix. Well, it was Kirk Cousins. The old NFC South, or the quarterbacks prior, that was tough. Remember we used to watch the Bucs play Matt Ryan and Cam Newton and Drew Brees? We used to get beat on bad. Like we couldn't beat those teams. Sometimes we'll split with them, but it was crazy. Like I'm kind of glad I grew up in an era that I got a chance to watch the NFC South with high-end quarterback play. It's like, and I'm gonna say this with some context too. Being I got a chance to watch Jordan, I got a chance to watch Kobe, and I got a chance to watch LeBron throughout their careers, all in their prime years. So with the NFC South, and I'm put it together here. So with the NFC South, to watch Cam Newton, to watch Drew Brees, and watch Matt Ryan, you know, it was almost like every year we coming in last place almost. Like outside of the 2016 season, we were not good. During that time frame, that NFC South was hard. It was hard to win. Compared to the NFC South now, it's a lot easier. The Bucs are the best team in the NFC South. It's not even a question. So tonight's conversation is about context. The NFC South, it's a lot easier now. Without a doubt in my mind. When I watch the NFC South now versus back then, it's not even close. You got Dave Canales. You got Raheem Morris. You got Todd Bowles. And you had Dennis Allen. See, back then, NFC South had Sean Payton, Ron Rivera, and Dan Quinn. And the Bucs had Dort Cutter. Yeah, literally, Dort Cutter. It was bad. And to see what the Bucs are right now, it's a sigh of relief. I'm happy. I'm happy that the Bucs are slightly above average. Let's be real, because the offense is elite. The defense is average at best, and I'm being nice. But when you put those two together, they're slightly above average. Remember, folks, a team is not made up just offensively. So when you look at a team, look at the totality of the team. You can't just look at the offense and say the Bucs are just good. No, the Bucs offense is elite. The defense is not good, in my opinion. Average at best, but that's being nice. Special teams, the kicking wise, special teams, kicking wise, good. Chase McLaughlin is a beast. The return units, still not good. So when I look at the Bucs as a team, they're 10-7. That's what the record says. So looking at the NFC South now, it's easy. Did y'all know that the NFC South and the AFC South are pretty much, when it comes to non-divisional opponents, are below 500? Let me repeat that. The NFC South record against non-divisional opponents is below 500. Let that sink in for a second. The AFC South is the same. Both divisions are not good. Both divisions are ran by one team, right? Texans is the only team that's worthy I'm talking about, right? And then in the NFC South, the Bucs are the only team worth talking about. You know what I'm saying? Like you could talk about the Falcons a little bit here and there, but really, it's when you look at the NFC South, it's just the Bucs. It's the Bucs have won the division every year since 2020. Oh, I'm sorry, 2021. It's just what it is. Like nobody's, as of right now, nobody's beating us. The only team that you can say that has a chance, a competitive chance, is the Falcons. I mean, they did sweep us, but I think we're better than them. I mean, is the gap super wide? I mean, that that's that could be a debate, but we're the best team in the NFC South, right? So our division, it's not hard. We're not struggling. We did struggle against the Falcons, which is when I go back and watch those Falcons games, it's like, damn, how the hell did we lose those games? To freaking Kirk Cousins. Like, go back and watch those games, folks. You gonna scratch your head. How in the hell? You gonna scratch the Bucs? And I'm not big on the shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but to be honest with you, the Bucs should have been probably 12-5. The Bucs probably should have been 12-5. The NFC South is terrible. AFC South is terrible. It's the two worst divisions in the NFL. It's not even a debate. The numbers show for itself. Panthers, Saints, and Falcons. I mean, who really? Anybody scared of the Saints? Anybody scared of the Panthers? Falcons are too inconsistent, and then the Bucs are the only team that you got to be scared of. For real. And I kind of punched the wall, right? Or when I go back and look at the Bucs versus Falcons game, both of those games, I scratch my head. We had no business losing those games, and a couple other games, but neither here. That we're just talking about the division, and we'll transition into the playoff talk. But I just want to kind of give you the overall gist of the state of the NFC South, and the Bucs are dominant. I can say that with confidence because for the first time in a long time, I mean, come on, let's be real. I mean, we had 11-5, but we didn't win the division. The year we won the Super Bowl, we didn't win the division. Then we went 13-4, and then we went 8-9, 9-8, 10-7. So prior to 2020, the Bucs were not dominating the division. Right? So to sit here as a Bucs fan and kind of have a sigh of relief and say, damn, the Bucs are actually the best team in the division, and it's not up for debate. So there was debates, and in 2020, we didn't win the division. Sean Payton owned us, still own us. That's a fact, right? We don't like Sean Payton. He's a problem, right? He owns the Bucs. He knows how to beat the Bucs with no problem. He has one of the offenses. He has one of the offensive schemes that Todd Bowles just can't figure out. It's a B scheme. You got Bo Nix looking good, and I'm not even high on Bo Nix. He's a yak merchant too, a check down Charlie merchant too. But just from an overall perspective, the NFC South is not good. It's just not good. It's just go watch the tape. 3 teams under 500. That's not good. That's not competitive. And the fact that we lost to the Falcons twice is a head scratcher. Don't make no sense. But let me scale it back a little bit and get off the NFC South, because the Bucs is the best team in the division. That is a fact. That is irrefutable, right? No matter how you feel and whatever narrative you're trying to spin or whatever semantics you try to play and throw in some extra stuff, it doesn't matter. The Bucs are the best team in the NFC South. There's no denying that. You might not like Baker Mayfield. So the freaking what? He's the best quarterback in the division. We got the best team, the best run game, the best O-line. That's what happens when you have the best of the division. That's what happens. So you can add semantics and all this stuff right there, but at the end of the day, the facts are the facts, the numbers is the math is the math, and the tape is the tape. The Bucs are 10-7. We are in the playoffs. For those of you that don't like Baker Mayfield, that's on you. The Kyle Trask fans, if you all about Kyle Trask, so the freaking what? I'm a Gator fan all day. I'm a Gator fan all day, but Kyle Trask ain't it. You can punch, scream, and kick all you want about Baker Mayfield. He's the best quarterback in the division, the best O-line, the best run game, the best receiving core. And there's nothing you can do about that. So instead of hating on Baker Mayfield because you like Kyle Trask or you just don't like Baker Mayfield, how about excuse me, but how about you just congratulate and support the team? Stop being mad because your guy is not behind center. Stop being mad because you have a personal issue with Baker Mayfield. See, when you make things personal, it makes you look goofy. Keep it football. You keep it football, you're going to feel better about yourself. Throughout the season, of course, people, I know some people get overzealous about Baker Mayfield, the Baker Bros. They be extra and they talk a lot of noise and all that stuff like Baker Bros. But we get it, right? Baker has had a career year for the first time in his career. Now, last year was his career year. He beat that by a little over 500 yards, and he beat the touchdown. His touchdowns about what 15 more touchdowns. I mean, congratulate. Look, you ain't got to buy the jersey. That's fine. I'm not buying a Baker Mayfield jersey because I said this for years. I only buy jerseys that are of players that are drafted by the Bucs. I only buy jerseys of players that are drafted by the Bucs. It's always going to be like that. But there's no hate. That's not me hating on Baker Mayfield. It's just that I've always had that mantra in my head. I used to work at Raymond James Stadium. I used to work, so I grew up as a Bucs fan. So that's why I laugh when some people try to be extra and stuff. I'll be like, whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know where I came from. I know where I'm built at. I just like talking football. Right? But at the end of the day, you have to give Baker Mayfield his flowers, regardless of how you feel about Baker Mayfield. Remember, facts over feelings. See, when you talk about football, you must remove your feelings. You must remove your feelings because if you don't, you're going to look silly. Don't get caught up in feelings or how you feel about somebody. Oh, because the tone of the message. No, is the message right? Oh, he's talking too aggressive. He talking too aggressive. Why he always is the message true? It's 2 + 2 4. It doesn't matter if I yell it, scream, use curse words, but it's 2 + 2 4. Yeah, it's 4, but you ain't have to say it like that. I don't care how I say it. It's a fact. Baker Mayfield has exceeded expectations back-to-back career years for the first time in his career. Now, of course, there's a lot of variables that play into this situation, right? Scheme, players, yada, yada, yada. We get that. But the Bucs follow the coach, follow the quarterback, and now the Bucs are 10-7. Now we in the playoffs, primetime game, so we can throw the records out. Records don't matter now. Now it's about the team. Team versus team for one game. We don't have because if you lose this game, it's over with. It's over with. So there is no well, next week we no. Forget the 10-7. The Commanders, who has exceeded expectations, 12-5. See, now we're about to dig into the trenches of the game now, because I'm watching the game. I just had to train. I had to go from the NFC South to the state of the Bucs, Baker Mayfield, into the game. This all leads into the game, right? Forget the 10-7. Forget the 12-5. Right? Both teams have been playing well. You might not like the Commanders. That's cool. I don't like them. But I do respect what they're doing over there. I respect what Dan Quinn is doing. I totally respect Jaden Daniels. He is a monster. For a rookie quarterback, he is playing very well. And I got to say this from a football perspective, all caps. If they get that boy a couple more weapons, the Commanders are going to be huge problems. They got their franchise quarterback. If they get that boy a couple more weapons, tighten that defense up, and interesting as I look at this game, the first game of the season, the Commanders don't even look like this. They don't even look like this. It's interesting. The Bucs don't look like this. Now, granted, the Bucs did beat the Commanders 37-20. And we'll get to the scores at the end of the video. But the Commanders are playing different. And high insight when you look at it, right? The Bucs put up 37 against the Commanders. First game of the season. Nobody knew the Commanders were going to be 12-5. Nobody knew this. How many of you knew that the Commanders are going to win more than 6 games with a rookie quarterback? How many knew? How many had the Commanders over 6 games? I damn sure didn't. So to look at the Commanders and say, damn, they really 12-5. And they've been playing. And interesting is the Bucs have gotten better, even though what we see now, we saw this week 1, folks. We saw the run game in week 1, right? The O-line or whatever. We saw this in week 1. In week 1, we saw this, but of course, a lot of us, or some of us, was like, wait a minute. Let's let it play out. And I was one of the Pirates. I was like, hey folks, let's let this play out till about week 8, week 9, week 10, because you gotta let them, grow. Some people had out the gate had the expectations high as a roof, the 12-5, 13-4 fans, I get it, right? But for me, I was like, well, I don't know what they're gonna look like, and you're really not gonna understand what the Bucs doing offensively as a scheme until like middle of the season. You know what I'm saying? So looking at the Bucs now, how they finish offensively, total yards, I believe top 5 total yards, right? Offensively. We'll get to the defense in a second. I just don't like the defense. But the Bucs offense, going back to week 1, they were already like this. It just took everybody a while. It took me about 8-9 weeks to like, okay, I see what they're doing now. And it's hard to stop. Like, the one thing about the Bucs scheme that I've learned over the last several weeks, and even going back into the beginning of the season, first quarter, is they make you tackle. Liam Coen draws up plays where you better have eye discipline and you better know how to tackle. You got to be a sound tackling team, and you better put some pressure on Baker Mayfield. If in the games that we lost, you can see the difference. And you better have a excuse me, sorry, I'm trying to get my voice right. The games that we lost, you better have a suitable coach. Now, the Raheem Morris losses was weird. That was weird. Losing to Raheem Morris twice, that was weird. But Liam Coen's scheme, it has his college feel to it, right? And the players The Bucs, like Rachaad White, and I always said this. Rachaad White is a third down running back. Third down running back. And it took the Bucs several weeks for the Bucs to understand that Bucky Irvin is RB number one. But I get it. They didn't want to give up on Rachaad White so quickly. He's a veteran. He's been there. He put the work in. And it's no hate on Rachaad White. It's just that I think a lot of us seen this like in week 3. A lot of us seen that Bucky Irvin was that guy. But for whatever reason, they was stuck on Rachaad White. And eventually they gave up on it, obviously. So, but looking at this game, the Commanders are a tricky team because they are a lot different now. Their defense has been playing very well the last several weeks. And the Bucs defense, I get it. The opponents do matter. The numbers going to look a little skewed because of the Raiders and the Giants and the Panthers twice and the Saints. So it does look skewed. Bryce Young, Spencer Rattler, Drew Lock, Aiden O'Connell. Now they did beat the Justin Herbert. Oh yeah, Cooper Rush, who beat us for some strange reason. We'll get into that, but the only suitable quarterback that the Bucs really played the last several weeks was Justin Herbert, and they beat them very well. They beat them pretty good, but we also lost to Bo Nix. So the Bucs are a tricky team to try to understand. So when you look at this game, you can't look at the Bucs 10-7, and you can't look at the Commanders 12-5. Granted, that's the regular season. Now it's going to come down to schematics. It's going to come down to the coaching staffs to put together the best plan for the game coming up. So if anybody understands how football works, especially when it comes to playoffs, if you play any type of real football, not talking football, but real football, I don't care if it's flag, semi-pro, high school, middle school, Pop Warner, when you get into the playoffs, it ain't about what you did before. It's literally simple X's and O's, right? It's who's the best prepared team. It's like if anybody in the legal field, I don't know if you got anybody in the legal field. I'm not legal, but I do understand simple understanding of business and legal, right? Cases are not won. You don't win cases the day of the case. The day of the case, lawyers don't win those cases. You win the cases via trial prep. That's how you win the case. Who's the most prepared side? Who has the best argument? And you have to prepare before the actual trial. You just can't show up. Excuse me. I'm sorry, folks. You can't show up the day of the trial thinking you finna win. It don't work like that. You can't say all of a sudden that we don't have a game plan until the day before the game and you think you're finna win the game. Todd Bowles and then his staff, they're getting the guys ready. The guys are getting healthy. But it comes down to Todd Bowles, obviously sitting in the room with Liam Coen and everything. Who's going to come up, or Dan Coen and his staff, who's going to come up with the best game plan? Of course, they're going to refer back to the first game of the season. And you really can't even, how much can you put into the first game of the season, right? Who would have knew? I didn't expect the Bucs to be playing the Commanders. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I can't stay in front. I'm not gonna stay in front. It was week 1. The Bucs were healthy. The Commanders were healthy. The war of attrition has played out. The Bucs had their bye, at week 11. So the Bucs were able to withstand the injuries, and particularly the defense, which I still believe that's the main reason why the Bucs are 10-7. It's not. It's the reason why the Bucs are not. The reason why the Bucs didn't win more games is not because of the offense. It's because of that freaking defense. And I know, I get it. Hurt, injuries, I get it. But remember, the same things you can apply to the Bucs, you can apply to every team. You just can't say, well, the Bucs were hurt. Yeah, we no sugar honey iced tea. I don't cuss on here like that. So I got to use like acronyms like sugar honey iced tea. But also 31 other teams were hurt too. Now, they did have a list. I forgot I should have kept it with me, but they did have a list of the most healthiest teams, right? I think Cleveland was up there, like the most injured team. The 49ers was the most injured team. The Bucs were, I think they were like top. I think they was somewhere like, I think they were in the top 15, like maybe 10 to 15. I should have kept that list, right? The Lions was up there. But I think the Bucs were in the middle of the pack when it came to injuries. I think it was like 10 to 15, somewhere up in there. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you can find that list, shoot it in the chat and we can talk about it. But the Bucs had to fight through injuries. So did the other 31 teams. And the better teams were able to survive that. Right? We were able to survive the injuries. Right? And if you look at this year's schedule and last year's schedule, it's pretty much mirror image. Right? A tough first half of the season, and in the back half, pretty light. Like literally the exact same thing. Like it almost played out as a 9-8 season. It almost did, right? But it didn't. Thank God. Like a 1-game improvement was great for the Bucs, right? But the schedules were mirror image. Like literally, hard teams after week 3, all the way to like week 9, week 10, and then all of a sudden the games got super easy. And then it's like when we won the Super Bowl, right? In 2020, the Bucs had a tough first 12 weeks was tough. And then that last 4-5 weeks were easy games. The Bucs got healthy, they had a late bye again, right? Just like this season. They got hot and they rolled it into the playoffs, right? So when you look at this game right here, the Commanders don't have any real major injuries. The Bucs are getting healthy. Winfield Jr. has been practicing. Jamel Dean limited, whatever. Jordan Whitehead is not going to play, and that's crazy what happened with him. That he was at fault for that situation, but we're not going to get into that. But the Bucs are getting healthy, right? The Bucs were healthy week 1, right? So this is going to be probably the most healthiest the Bucs have been. Actually, this will be the most healthiest they've been in the entire season. If everybody, the injury report shows, guys are practicing, they're limited. Some of them didn't practice because of a rest day, whatever the case may be. But this will be the most healthiest that the Bucs have been. Now, of course, they don't have Chris Godwin, right? They don't have Savasi Dennis. Outside of a couple players, the Bucs are going to be pretty healthy. The Commanders, pretty healthy. They've gotten experience throughout the season. They found the way to win games, and I get it. Some of those games they won, some of the games that they did win was kind of like a little fluky-ish, but hey, I'll take it. If that happened to the Bucs, I'll take a 12-5. If we had a couple of games that was a little fluky, the ball bounced our way, I'm with that. I mean, who wouldn't take that? I wouldn't complain. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a 12-5 with a couple of balls bouncing our way. You know what I'm saying? So to get back to the playoff game, it's going to be an interesting situation. So like the Bucs' strength is offensively, right? We know it. I don't have to go into major details. I think we've all seen the Bucs offense explosive, top 5, hard to stop. Good luck with that. And it's really the defense that most of us are probably going to scratch our head if they could just give us a half decent effort. And we'll get into the pick, who's going to win the game. We'll get into that, the score and all that stuff like that, right? I don't think any of us are worried about the offense. Now, granted, you could say, okay, some of the time they get a little cute. That's Liam Coen with the window dressing, doing extra stuff. Like we saw it against the Saints in the first half. It's like, why that call? Why just run the ball? We all have our moments when we watching the Bucs play, and we'd be like, what? What was that about? Things could be going well with the Bucs. We've seen this. Things could be going well, and all of a sudden, what was that? You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's been some head scratching moments for Liam Coen, but overall, A+. I'm not mad at it. Not mad at it. This has been the best Bucs offense in the last 13 years? I mean, the best Bucs offense that we've seen, 13, 14 years? Think about that for a second, folks. That's why I'm not overly concerned about the offense, because I mean, yeah, I can nitpick about the offense and some of the situational football, but that doesn't take away from how good the offense has been under Liam Coen. Like, this offense is on another level. It's way better than when Tom Brady was here, right? It's way better than when Jameis Winston was the quarterback. It's not even a question. It was way better than when Dave Canales was the OC. It's way better. It's way better than Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians. It's way better than Todd Monken. It's way better than Dort Cutter. It's leaps and bounds. It makes those offenses look so basic. Drop back, chuck the ball around. That's what the Bucs offense has been for the last 10 years. Drop back, chuck the ball around. Forget the running game. Drop back, throw the ball 50 million times. Think about it. Go back and look at the offenses. Go all the way back to Dort Cutter, to Todd Monken, Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich, Dave Canales. Does any of those offenses compete with Liam Coen offense? Think about that for a second, folks. The Bucs literally broke their rushing record, team record. 2,563 yards rushing the ball. 1,000 yards better than last season. Let that sink in. That's how bad the Bucs offense has been over the years. It was so bad that Bruce Arians was forced to change his offense. Think about it. The Bucs were 7-5. Brady was throwing interceptions, and they changed the offense to go to the New England style. That's why I remember I was telling y'all before this video started, before I kicked in the video, this video is going to be filled with context. It's not going to be just, I'm just going to talk about this piece right here to make the conversation seem a certain way. I'm literally covering as much as I can, to add as much as context as I can. And I'm not AI, right? I'm not AI. It was 7-5. No Bucs offense in the last 15 years is better than Liam Coen. None of them. The Bucs, none of them. Bruce Arians, high fly, no risky, no biscuit. Byron Leftwich, cut from the same cloth. Dave Canales, under Shane Waldron, Pete Carroll, Todd Monken, Dort Cutter from Arizona State, or Atlanta Falcons OC. They was chucking the ball around, 4 verticals. No risky, no biscuit. Eric Coryell. No evidence of a running game. That is a fact. That is a fact. It's like, what are we doing here? 2,563 yards. That is a fact. They broke the team rushing record this past season. This past season literally tells you how bad the Bucs offense was constructed for several years. That is irrefutable. It's there. It's evidence. Numbers don't lie. Tape don't lie. We had no running game since 2016. It was all 4 verticals or no risky, no biscuit. If the receiver is open by 1 inch, you better throw the ball. It frustrated Tom Brady. It was so bad that the media was calling for it. The media was like, hell nah. He got Tom Brady throwing interceptions. He got to change it. Where's the motion? Facts. And then you look at Liam Coen. He is flooding you with motion, running back, fake motion, jet sweep. I mean, you can't. You better have eye discipline. Shout out to Liam Coen. Leaps and bounds better than Bruce Arians. Dave Canales. Leaps and bounds better than Byron Leftwich. Todd Monken. Dort Cutter. Leaps and bounds. Leaps and bounds. We had no running game. That's why I can sit here and on the top of a mountain and smile with the wind blowing in my face, with my chest poking out, and say, "Damn, the Bucs got a running game." How proud are you? How proud can you be as a Bucs fan and say the Bucs got a run game? As a Bucs fan, you know how many times it's almost like PTSD when it comes to the Bucs running game. That's why I look at Bucky Irvin, even Rachaad White, Sean Tucker, right? The best trio of backs that the Bucs has ever had. And let me make sure y'all understand what I'm saying. The Bucs offense was heavy pass. We were always good at passing, but we never got a chance. We've never seen a balanced offense. The Bucs were context, folks. The Bucs had a top 5 offense, but if you go a little bit deeper, it was top 5 passing, bottom 3 running. It was all top 5 pass with Winston, top 10, top 5 with Winston, top 5 with Brady, but the running game always been in the 30s, 29. We've never had a balanced offense ever, and I've been screaming, I've been beating the table for years. I've been doing this channel for since 2017. I've been beating for a running game for years. And it's always, it's been pushed back from some of the Bucs fans. Oh, Buckles, no, we don't need a running game. Man, we needed a running game. I've been beating the drum, build the trench, get a running game to protect the quarterback, to help the quarterback out, to relieve the pressure off of him, to make the throws easier. If you have a running game, excuse me, folks, I'm trying to keep my voice together. If you have a running game, you help your quarterback out. He don't have to play hero ball. It's simple football 101. It is a team game, a collective effort. When you are one-dimensional, when teams know what you're doing, it is easy to stop you. It is easy. Look, you can go back and say, "Oh yeah, the Bucs had a top offense." No. Yeah, they did according to the numbers, but it was heavy pass. It was heavy pass. The reason why the Bucs were top 10, top 5 offense was because of the pass, not because of balance. This is why I gotta say, and I know it sounds crazy. I guess I'm be on the limit. I guess I'll be on my own to say this, but Liam Coen is the best OC the Bucs has ever had, and that's kind of crazy because it's like the Bucs been around since the late 70s. It's the best OC the Bucs has ever had because he's the most balanced. Bruce Arians didn't give a damn about running the ball. Dort Cutter didn't give a damn about running the ball. Todd Monken, his offense was 4 verticals. This is the best up to this point. This is the best offensive coordinator the Bucs has ever had. That is crazy. The balance it's so beautiful to watch. Like, you don't know what the Bucs gonna do. I remember I used to be able to call the Bucs plays out in my head. Like, they about to throw the ball. They were just so predictable. The Bucs were so predictable. Now you can't even predict what they're gonna do. You know how many times as a Bucs fan we sat here and watched the Bucs, even during Tom Brady years. It was like, well, why they keep chucking the ball around? Stop chucking the ball around. Now, Liam Coen does have his moments, But overall, Liam Coen, he just don't chuck the ball around. And when I mean chucking the ball around, throwing it down the field all the freaking time. No risky, no biscuit. Brady hated that. It was so bad they moved his ass up. Excuse my language. They moved his apple sugar upstairs. I always tell y'all this. Complimentary football will have your team looking so much better offensively. Oh man, see BucosLocker. See, no, it's not. Come on, Bucos. No, it's facts. I can name several teams that got a run game and a passing game. Several teams. Several. Now it helps that your quarterback is a run threat too, but it's also if you got a good duo or trio of running backs, it helps the quarterback. It helps the quarterback. Exactly. Let me just go down the list here. Let me make things. Let me add some more context to this. I don't want to lose some of y'all because some of y'all like, oh, he's not really telling the truth. No. Let's go down the list. Matter of fact, no, you go down the list. Go look at the playoff teams. Go look at the playoff teams. Oh, well, Joe Burrow, the Bengals not in the playoffs. Yeah. Yep. Because they were one-dimensional. The defense wasn't good. The run game wasn't there. Now, I like their running back, but they started out slow. But look at the teams in the playoffs right now. Don't worry, I'll wait. I mean, the Commanders, they're balanced. Oh, the Chiefs, yeah. The Chiefs, well, they got Andy Reid. Andy Reid is leaps and bounds better than every coach in the NFL. Like, I can't even knock Andy Reid for not really well, actually, they've been running the ball. Like, there was a couple games during the season that Kareem Hunt, like Pacheco was running the ball, but Pacheco been hurt too. So, but Kareem Hunt did pick up, and they had one game where Mahomes didn't do good at all. Matter of fact, against us, in a couple other games, he didn't play well at all, but they ran the ball. But if you look at the other teams in the playoffs, man, they all fairly pretty decent. Bills, Ravens, Steelers run the ball, Chargers run the ball, Texans run the ball to a degree. The Broncos, they have somewhat of a balance. Packers, Eagles, Commanders, Lions, Eagles, Vikings, the Rams. I mean, it's literally like in your face. I can't bang on the table enough that a balanced attack will help the team. TEAM. It will relieve the pressure off the quarterback. And to tie that into this game right here coming up, as I watch this first game of the season, the importance of Bucky Irvin in this game is going to be even bigger. Yeah, I know it's common sense, but some people just don't like that. They just like I don't know. Some people just like to argue. I don't know. Some people just like to argue and like female tendencies. Like, I'm not trying to be sexist and nothing like that, but some fans just like to argue. I don't know why. Even if I tell them 2 + 2 is 4, they still want to argue. Like, I don't know. I mean, I can add more context, but this video will be 6 hours long. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to give you the important context, because some people just, apples to oranges, oranges to apples, tomato, tomato. Some people just like to just argue, and it's like, come on, man. Like, are we on the same ship or not? You know what I'm saying? Like, are we on the same ship, or you just want to argue? Like, who gives it? Like, balance. It's simple. Football 101. I played football. I don't think some of the ones that talk like that, I don't think they have any ounce of athleticism in them. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but back to Bucky Irvin. back to Bucky Irvin, right? The reason why I mentioned him first, because he's going to set the tone. Look, Baker's playing great, but I think Bucky Irvin is the tone setter. I think Bucky Irvin, he's going to set the tone. If the Bucs can establish this running game, think about this. For the first time in over 10 years, I can literally say, if the Bucs establish the running game, look how that sounds. He was all looking up to the space cadet. It was all looking up to the space cadet. Bucky Irvin is going to set the tone early. Well, he got to. It's not like I hope no. He got to set the tone, because this is a pressure game. I heard some fans, and they've been doing this. I've heard some Bucs fans say this, which is interesting. An interesting conversation. Todd Bowles is coaching for his job. Like what? Todd Bowles is coaching for his job. If he loses to the Commanders or he doesn't go far in the playoffs, they're going to promote Liam Coen. What kind of narrative is that? How about focus on the game? If the Bucs run the ball for 150 yards, it's kind of a no-brainer. Control the clock, take the pressure off Baker Mayfield. And I'm just giving y'all the top level perspective here. I'm not going into details right now, but I'm just giving you the top level perspective. 150 yards, control the clock. Baker Mayfield with the easy screen throws, couple of shots down the field, but the easy throws, checking the ball down to McMillan and Bucky Irvin and Rachaad White. Get Devin Cope involved, Payne Durham involved. You know what I'm saying? Keep it simple. You at home, it's a prime time. Look, the Bucs are 0-4. They're 0-4 in prime time. 0-4 in prime time. We can break that scheme. Matter of fact, the Bucs were 0 in 43 when down by 10. So they actually won a game for the first time in over 30 games down by 10 or more points. That is rare for the Bucs to do that. And that was the Saints game, matter of fact, folks. Usually when the Bucs are down by 10 points, they lose the game. Let that sink in. So 0-4 in primetime games. Hey, look, we're due for one, right? We're due for a primetime game, right? This year, this past season, and of course the playoffs, we're due for a primetime game win. You just like to see that, right? Because the Bucs, for some strange reason, when the lights are bright, they tend to act a little funny. I'm just saying. We've all seen it. We've all scratched our heads sometimes. And matter of fact, I'm gonna keep this in this past season, 0-4 in all 4 games. We all left that game and we turned that TV off. We all scratched our heads like, what? We've all scratched our heads. All 4 primetime games, we clicked the TV off, and we scratched our heads. So to go back to this game right here, the Commanders are different. I gotta admit that. Jalen Daniels, what are we gonna do with him? Let's have a conversation about the Bucs defense now. Let's transition to the Bucs defense. What are we gonna do there? Well, yeah, we beat the matter of fact, the Commanders were 7-9. We beat them. They were 7-9 in 2020. I get that. I'm talking about this past season. 0-4 this past season. That is a fact. Semantics is cool, but I'm talking about this past season. I know what the Bucs did in 2020. The Redskins at the time were 7-9. I get that. I'm talking about 2024. Right? We're catching up to 2024. 0-4. Okay. Stay with me. We're focusing on the game now. So back to Jalen Daniels. Do we have anybody on the team that can control his scrambling ability? Maybe we put Joe Tryon Stoinka kind of in a spy mode or something like that. Or we can't put Levante David on Jalen Daniels because that's a mismatch. I don't know. This is a fascinating thing about Todd Bowles' defense. Todd Bowles' defense is predicated with pressure, but it can be beaten easily. We literally watched Cooper Rush and even Spencer Rattler. Like Todd Bowles' defense is not. It's easily beatable. It's beatable. Like if you got a quarterback like Jalen Daniels, this first game, look, his first game of the season, he played like a rookie, but he had some moments. Now, as the season progressed, after that game, as the first two quarters of the season, he was playing well. I think he hurt his back, and then when he hurt his back, his actual game kind of like it kind of fizzled down for a couple of weeks, and then he got healthy and he started playing well again. So the Jalen Daniels that we've seen in week 1, it won't be the same coming up, if that makes sense. Like he's gotten better. I think just from a football perspective, let's just put the football cap on. Let's put the NFL hat on. I'm not a Commanders fan, but I got to say this. Jalen Daniels has played very well. Like if you had to look at him week 1 and look at him now, can you honestly say that he's the same player or he has not gotten better? I mean, he's had 17 games of experience, or 16 games after he played us. He's gotten better. Did he get worse? As the season progressed, did he get worse? If that makes sense. Like, has he gotten worse? So when the Bucs defense see Jalen Daniels prime time, can we actually say right now, has he gotten worse? Like, is he a better player or he remained the same as in week 1? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, because for me, in my opinion, I'm just gonna say my opinion. For me to sit up here and say, "Oh, Jalen Daniels is the same player he is in week 1," I can't say that. Now, maybe you could say that, but I like watching football. Nah, he's not the same player. He's not the same player week 1 as he is in week 17. And whether we like it or not, I'm pro Bucs. He is a problem. All caps. He is a problem for not just for the Bucs, but just period. He's going to be a problem moving forward. He's got the Lamar Jackson thing going on. You know what I'm saying? Got a nice arm. Got a cannon. You know, he can move around. Actually, I would be honest with you. He's a better thrower year 1 than Lamar Jackson was in year 1. Let me repeat that. I know I'm not trying to say he's Lamar Jackson, but he's a better thrower in his rookie season than Lamar Jackson was. So, and we know he can run the ball, and that's going to be a problem. Now, we know Todd Bowles like the blitz, but the question is how much he's going to blitz Jalen Daniels. Because he blitzed him a few times this game, and to be honest with you, I'm watching the game right now, folks. Week 1, he's at Jalen Daniels The blitz didn't get to him. He actually missed a couple throws. That was on him. The deep ball to Terry McLaurin. He missed a third down ball that was just missed. Just it was timing. I'm literally watching the game, folks. Like I'm literally watching. I'm watching the full game, not the condensed game, right? Todd Bowles blitz, it got there for some time. A couple times it got there, but he escaped. He escaped a lot of the Todd Bowles blitz. As I watched this game, he escaped those blitzes with his legs. Now, was he 100% successful in escaping the blitzes? No, but he was also successful as well. So Todd Bowles is going to have to come up with he's going to come up with something like, let's have some faith in him a little bit, right? I know some of us don't like Todd Bowles' defense. I personally don't like the defense, but let's have some sort of faith that he will come up with something, because he's going to get some scramble yards. I mean, that's just how that's part of his game. Like, he's going to get some scramble yards. Like, I think we can. That's almost like a given. Like, we have to accept that. Like, I just find it hard to believe that as good as he's been playing, his escapability is one of his strengths, whether we like it or not. Oh, well, Jalen Daniels, he not okay. Well, you ain't got to believe me. Just go watch the season. I think he has over 800 yards rushing, or close to 1,000 yards rushing. So to sit here and say, oh, he's not going to do nothing running the ball, okay, man. Like, wake up. Wake up. Wake the hell up from your inception. Let's get real. Stop. Get out your damn feelings about every other team besides the Bucs. Wake the hell up. His legs is going to be a problem. It will be a problem. He will scramble. It's almost like a foregone conclusion. I'm raising my voice. It's almost like a foregone conclusion that you have to kind of accept that. Like you have it's the same thing I can say is you have to accept that Bucky Irvin is going to break some tackles. You know what I'm saying? We can't just down every team that the Bucs play or every other player that's not on the Bucs and say, oh, they're not all that, they're not good, they're not going to do this, and make it seem like they're trash. Accept reality for what it is. Remember, reality gonna always win over optimism. You could be optimistic about Jalen Daniels not running the ball and he's not gonna run on us. Todd Bowles is gonna shut him down. Look, if Todd Bowles shut him down, congratulations. It ain't gonna be easy. But in my mind, in my football thought process, I'm already accepting the fact that he's going to scramble. He's going to get some yards. The thing is to me, it's about the moment that he does this. It's the moments he scrambles, like 3rd and 5, 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10, even a 3rd and 13. And lane integrity is going to be huge for our front. And I know Vita and Greg Gaines and William Golson and Yaya and Joe Tryon-Stoinka and Logan Hall, them boys going to be tired. Shaq Barrett. Them boys going to be tired chasing that man around. He's a ball of energy. He's a ball of energy. It's like, do this dude get tired? I've never seen Jalen Daniels pull an Anthony Richardson. And then if he breaks containment, he's a much better runner than Baker Mayfield. And we've seen Baker Mayfield break out some scrambles and get some big yards. Jalen Daniels is leaps and bounds better than Baker Mayfield running the ball. I'm just telling you what I see. I'm just telling you what I see. Lane integrity will be very important, but there will be some plays that he will make. And we as a fan base, all we can really do is just throw our hands up. Like, damn, Ain't nothing we can do about that. Like if he scrambles for 8 yards on the 3rd and 5, what can you say? What you gonna say? Are you gonna get mad? That comes with the territory. And then with him scrambling around, it's gonna make the D-line, like fresh bodies are gonna be very important. Remember going back to when it comes to the Bucs D-line, the D-line depth, I don't like it. I don't like it. Like got Shaq Barrett back, but I mean, how much do you expect him to do? He played last week, but I mean, come on, you expect him to be some damn superhero? Oh, we got Shaq Barrett back. So the freak what? So the freak what? Shaq Barrett is back. That doesn't change the fact that the Bucs D line better be on their P's and Q's. Whoa. We gonna have KJ Britt spine Jalen Daniels? We're gonna bump Winfield Jr. down. We're gonna take him from the free safety spot, bring him into the box to spy on Jalen Daniels, then leave the secondary to get cooked. I mean, what are we doing here? It almost comes down to just limit the big plays with his legs. And I'm not saying he's gonna always run the ball. Sometimes he's running the ball to throw. Let me repeat that. Sometimes he runs the ball, he scrambles around to throw. Look, I played football with pads and playing quarterbacks like back in the day. Quick pivot real quick. Back in the day, we had athletes playing quarterback. That means they're not really quarterbacks, but they athletes that can throw the ball. But see, in today's football, you have quarterbacks that can actually run. Jalen Daniels is one of them. Lamar Jackson has gotten better with his passing, right? But Jalen Daniels, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the most accurate quarterbacks as a rookie, period. So if we are going to bank on him to miss a bunch of throws, good luck, because week 1, Jalen Daniels, he missed a couple of really good throws. I mean, it wasn't even because of Todd Bowles' pressure or because of the pressure on the edge or a blitz or something like that. Even when the Bucs blitzed, he just missed the throw. He just missed the throw. It is nothing the Bucs defense did. He just missed the throw. Now, the throws that he did miss, it wasn't always just him missing. Sometimes it was pressure that Todd Bowles gave to him, like made him process a little faster, right? Made him process a little faster. He missed a couple of those throws. But there's also throws that he just straight up missed. I'm watching the game right now. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I might need glasses. I don't know. I mean, I'm literally talking to you as I'm talking to everybody, and I'm watching the game week 1, not the condensed version, the full game. And I'm watching his throws. Some throws was pressure. Some throws he just missed and there was no pressure. Or sometimes, like when he did blitz, he just missed the throw. Like there was no pressure. I mean, he blitzed, but the blitz didn't get there. He just missed the throw. And then there are sometimes that Todd Bowles did blitz. This is week 1 of Jalen Daniels. This is week 1, not the week 17, not the one that we about to face now. It's going to be a little different. And, Todd Bowles' defense can give rookies hell. We Spencer Rattler twice. We gave Bryce Young hell year 2, year 1 Bryce Young. But Bo Nix had Sean Payton. Okay, so okay, Cooper Rush, Cooper Rush had Mike McCarthy, right? So it's like Todd Bowles' blitzing packages is really a hit and miss situation, folks, because it's not just with the week 1 game, but like throughout the season, this past season, sometimes Todd Bowles will blitz and it don't get there, and the secondary left out the drive. And it's not like Todd Bowles can just rush 4 and drop 7. Sometimes he do that. And then, but if he do that sometimes in the middle of the field, it's not covered well, yada, yada, yada. Right? So if you think about it, the version that the Bucs defense will see this upcoming game in the week 7 version, it's a difference, right? The Cliff Kingsbury, I'm not a fan of him, but he's done a great job scheming the offense around the quarterback and giving him his best plays, his best throws, his best RPO. We got to worry about that too. Todd Bowles gave him some things to look at, and I'm pretty sure they're going to look at the tape. I know Todd Bowles, they're looking at Jalen Daniels tape throughout the season. Go ask Todd Bowles about Jalen Daniels. He'll tell you. Don't listen to me. Like, I can tell you Jalen Daniels is a really good player, but hey, I don't play the game. I just talk about it. Go listen to the players. Because if I said, oh, BucosLocker, he talking nonsense. He's a Commanders fan. And then Winfield Jr. or Todd Bowles or Levante Davis say Jalen Daniels is a good player. Man, come on, man. Like, if I say it, it's a problem, but if the player said it, then you believe it. So which one is it? I'm just telling you what I see. Todd Bowles, we just got to hope that it's almost like putting a box around Jalen Daniels. Okay, he has a high ceiling, right? We just got to hope that he don't reach this game. Like, two ends of the spectrum. A really, really, really good version of Jalen Daniels is going to be a major promise game. But also, on the flip side, a really, really bad version, if he sugar honey iced tea to bed, will be great for us. But there's going to have to be somewhere to meet in the middle here, because we don't know what type of game he's going to have. Will it be a terrible game? Possibly. Will it be a really good game? Possibly. Could he have a really good game and the Commanders defense sugar honey iced tea to bed? Possibly. We've seen this before. Look, this won't be an easy game. I think this game gonna be as much as I'm saying right here, and I'm all about Bucs. Y'all know me. This game gonna be good. In the third quarter, it was 23-7. The Bucs were up 23-7. Like, the Bucs dominated the game. Commanders missed a couple field goals, some key moments. Dan Quinn, the Commanders that we see now, week 1, and the Commanders now, Dan Quinn has got that team, gotten that team better. Like straight up, like football, real talk, you know what I'm saying? Like football, straight up, like thought process. Commanders week 1 is not the Commanders week 17. It's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun game. 2 quarterbacks playing very well. High level quarterbacky. I want my quarterback to be more quarterbacky. Well, that lady was crazy to say something like that about Lamar Jackson. But both quarterbacks are playing at a high level. Jalen Daniels, he's throwing the ball well. He's running the ball well, running that RPO system. It's a perfect match. You know what's so crazy? Cliff Kingsbury had Kyler Murray, right? Cliff Kingsbury had Kyler Murray at quarterback running the same offense. Think about this for a second, folks. You can't sit up. Well, you can tell me if you want to, but I can sit up and tell you what my eyes tell me. The Cliff Kingsbury offense looks a lot better with Jalen Daniels versus Kyler Murray. Let that sink in. This is the offense that he ran with Kyler Murray. But it looks a lot better with Jalen Daniels. It looks more in tune. Kyler Murray, I'm not a fan of that guy. I don't like his leadership. He's small. He doesn't bond with the team. Yada yada yada. Whatever. I think the Cardinals, in my opinion, should move on from Kyler Murray. That contract was terrible. But he looks like Cliff Kingsbury is getting head coaching jobs. Like he's getting interviews because of teams are like, damn, well, we might compare him with Caleb Williams. And he can have Caleb Williams looking like Jalen Daniels. Right? But that just shows you if you get the quarterback right, your offense gonna look better. You know what I'm saying? Your offense gonna look a lot better. If you have the wrong quarterback, your offense not gonna look great. We know that. I think that's pretty much obvious. But I got to admit, I watch a lot of football, and Kyler Murray he's not Jalen Daniels, man. Not Jalen Daniels. But also, what helps Cliff Kingsbury is having a veteran coach above him. Learning from Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn, he's almost like a more toned down version of Dan Campbell. That makes sense. Dan Quinn's a more toned down version of Dan Campbell. Fiery guys. Dan Campbell was a little off the wall. He's a little extra, right? But Dan Quinn is a toned down version of Dan Campbell. And the reason why I say this is because, the Commanders was not even expected to win over 6 games. Let me repeat this. We can't sit up and act like it was the Cliff Kingsbury show. No, it was the Dan Quinn show. Getting a coach in there that can coach, that can lead grown men and give them the right mindset. And also, a very important factor, and we got ours, Levante David for the Bucs. But on the flip side, Dan Quinn bringing in Bobby Wagner, who's still playing at a high level along with Levante David. Both linebackers are still playing well. Bringing in Bobby Wagner solidified and brought leadership to that locker room. The Commanders, aka Redskins, for a long time was dysfunctional. We saw this play out. So it's not the Cliff Kingsbury show. It's not the Jalen Daniels show, right? It's the Dan Quinn show. Dan Quinn got those guys under control. Dan Quinn solidified the organization. Josh Harris, the owner, Dan Quinn, Adam Peters, the GM. They got this dysfunctional organization under control. The Commanders was dysfunctional. Ron Rivera, they didn't know what they were doing. They had no idea. But when you put a coach that understands how to win in a situation like that, this is why people want to see Mike Vrabel with the Bears or with the Jets. Sometimes you just got to have the right guy. And having the right guy at the top, matching with the GM, they pick the right players, they pick the quarterback, and you're good to go. We literally just saw this play out with the Commanders today, this past season. We literally just watched a team that was terrible last year. We as a fan base, as NFL fans, was looking at the Commanders like, what's wrong with them? Who they gonna hire? And then even when they hired Dan Quinn, we was like, okay, another washed coach. You know what I'm saying? But Dan Quinn got them guys together and got Bobby Wagner in that locker room, and they look a little different. I'm just keeping it real with y'all. I'm just telling y'all, I've been around a lot of alpha guys, a lot of football. I've been around a lot of football. Like I can see how I can see some of the conversation. Some of you, I don't think has ever been around guys like that. Sometimes, like, if you haven't been around like guys that know how to lead guys, if you always been around guys that follows, your mindset will think like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I can see, like, look at the Bucs, right? I know I'm always punching on Todd Bowles. And some of us don't like his demeanor. Like, when things are going bad, he kind of sit there with a straight face and, where's the emotion at? We want to see some fire and all that. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But hey, the locker room is fortified. There's no drama out of the locker room. I mean, got rid of the Devin White situation. That was a little locker room bug, but the Bucs locker room is pretty good. We don't have no drama. We don't have all the extra. And the Jordan White situation was weird. But just for the most part, Levante David, Vita, Mike Evans got the locker room under control. Todd Bowles got the locker room under control. Okay. But then when you look at the Commanders, last year they were terrible. They were terrible. They had nothing. The locker room was just all dysfunctional. Like the story that came out about that. But now you put a guy in there that know how to lead men. That locker room is under control. What have you heard about the Commanders? I know Brian Robinson got shot a couple times, but what have you heard about the Commanders as far as dysfunction this season? Like they all over the place and something ain't right. What have you heard? What dysfunction have you heard about the Commanders? They were dysfunctional before Dan Quinn got there. Like the Bucs were Target, right? The Bucs was Target, and the Commanders was Walmart or Family Dollar or Dollar General. Think about that for a second. The Commanders was Walmart, Family Dollar, Dollar General, Dollar Tree. They got a new owner, a new GM, a new head coach, a new quarterback. All four leadership positions changed. And look at the franchise. 12-5. Now, I think, from my football perspective, I think they overachieved. I do. In my personal opinion, I think they are a year or two away. But hey, I can't knock them for winning 12 games. I can't knock them. I can't knock them for that. But they changed 4 positions in that franchise, and it literally turned the franchise around. Owner, GM, coach, quarterback. Now they're 12-5. Where's the dysfunction? I'm not going to hate on them. I'm not here to hate on the Commanders because hey, what can I really hate on them about? Like if it was the Saints, the Panthers, the Falcons, because you know how I get down. I don't like anybody in NFC South, but I am a football fan, and I do acknowledge when teams are doing the right thing. I do acknowledge that. So I can acknowledge that the Commanders are heading in the right direction. Now, as far as Todd Bowles' defense, let's bring it back to the game. Todd Bowles' defense, it just comes down to, I'm gonna say it like this: hold Jalen Daniels under 220 yards passing and under 40 yards rushing, because I think he's going to give us some plays here and there. You know what I'm saying? He's going to give us some plays, right? And mobile quarterbacks at a high level can be a problem. And one thing about it is when you play, I'm not talking about video games. I'm talking about when you play any type of sports you play. When you play with confidence, you play different. So it's almost like Todd Bowles is going to have to break the will of Jalen Daniels. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, he's going to have to break the will, like make him so frustrated where he just out of whack, out of sorts. Like under 220 yards passing, under 40 yards rushing, a pick or two. He's been sacked a few times. He's frustrated. He's a little nicked up. That's the game plan. That's the game plan. In my eyes. He's had a really good year. He will win Rookie of the Year, right? And it's not like he's not winning Rookie of the Year because of his name. I mean, it's what he did on the field. And to me, can't knock that. Congratulations. If he does win offensive rookie of the year, congratulations. Well deserved. I'm not knocking him for that. But playing against us, I'm not rooting for him to have a really good game. Let's make that clear. I do acknowledge the talent. I do acknowledge his skill set. I do acknowledge he's played very well for a rookie. Actually, there was an argument that this rookie year, Jalen Daniels' rookie year, is better than CJ Stroud's rookie year. Would y'all agree with that? I'm just asking. Is Jalen Daniels' rookie year better than CJ Stroud's rookie year? I'm just asking. I'm just asking for conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I think it is, in my personal opinion. I mean, like, I'm not trying to prop him up. I'm just looking at apples to apples. CJ Stroud had a really good rookie year, and Jalen Daniels has had a really good rookie year. I'm just saying. You ain't got to get mad at me. You can go watch the tape. I'm just saying. And I gotta look. I like CJ Stroud too, but I gotta admit, if I had to choose between the two quarterbacks, I'm taking Jalen Daniels. I'm taking Jalen Daniels. A year two CJ Stroud or rookie Jalen Daniels. Who would you pick? I'm going, and I'm just saying, I'm going with Jalen Daniels. Like, CJ Stroud, I think he's good. Got to tighten up a little bit, but I'll take a year one Jalen Daniels over a year two a year one or year two CJ Stroud. But anyway, Todd Bowles and that defense, Winfield Jr. is going to be very important for the defense. Like, just as much as I said, Bucky Irvin is going to be very important for the offense to establish the run. The trenches, got to win the trenches, right? And the defense, defensively. Winfield Jr., man, he's missed a few weeks. Is he going to be in football shape? I'm just saying. I mean, he you know, look, playing sports is not easy. I don't know about some of you guys, but playing sports is not easy. Like, if you stop playing sports for a while and you try to get back out there, you get tired really quick. Oh, I know what CJ Stroud. I know what CJ Stroud did against the Bucs last year. It was a masterpiece. Boy, I tell you this much. I don't want to see Jalen Daniels have that game. Let me repeat. CJ Stroud, as a rookie, had a masterful game against us. Fast forward a year later, another quarterback who's more athletic and a better arm is coming to town. I don't want to see Jalen Daniels with 477 yards and 5 touchdowns. I don't want to see that. Or I don't want to see Jalen Daniels with 470 yards total offense and 5 touchdowns. I don't want to see it. Winfield Jr., very important for this game. Hopefully he's I can't say he's going to be in football shape because he's going to be he might get a little winded. But secondary will be a concern. Secondary will be a concern, folks. It hasn't always been. It might be a concern for a half. It might be a concern for all 4 quarters. I'll tell you this much before I get to my score prediction. The first team to 30, of course, I'm going to pick the Bucs, but the first team to 30, I'm just saying. And, look, the Bucs O-line, great. Bucs D-line, The Commanders D line, they got Jonathan Allen back, Deron Payne, Newton, Dante Fowler, Dorian Armstrong. So they're gonna get after the quarterback. They coming after the quarterback, right? The Commanders O line, actually, which is so interesting, the Commanders O line has been under the radar. The Commanders O line, of course, it comes down to scheme too. Just like the Bucs offense comes down to scheme too, because the scheme can make the O line, you know. But both O lines, now the Bucs O line is better, but the Commanders O line, who the Commanders O line, the Commanders in general, has had a problem with their O line for years. But this season, I got to admit, their O line has been playing pretty good. Not like elite good, but you get what I'm saying. Trenches, man. Y'all know my core. Y'all know BucosLocker core. Trenches. Bucs O line versus the Commanders D line. That's gonna be a fun matchup. Watching week one, sometimes the Commanders got pressure, sometimes the Bucs held up. It was it was back and forth. And then the Bucs D line versus the Commanders O line. Now remember, both teams are not the same as they were in week one. But I think the matchup that we really got to watch is the Commanders D line versus the Bucs O line. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun because the Commanders D line did get some pressure on Baker. Baker moved around, spent out a couple sacks, did a couple of juke moves, and escaped a couple sacks. Like he escaped several sacks. And if you know anything about Dan Quinn's defense, going back to Seattle, 4-3, cover 3. Get after the quarterback. They go, I think, if I'm not mistaken, they go about 7 deep. The Commanders D line is about 7 deep, maybe 8. And they're gonna come after the quarterback. That's going because I'm watching the game. I'm telling you what I see. The Commanders D line, they got back there. Baker Mayfield was playing out of his mind. He's been doing that the entire season. You know, my voice is killing me. I'm fighting through this. But interesting how this is going to play out. Very interesting. Watching the game on week one, Bucs O line, they wanted to battle, but the Commanders they put up a fight in the trenches. Ooh, my throat. Oh, my goodness. My throat, fellas. I'm sorry. I think that's going to be the best matchup. Now, the second best matchup is Bucky Irvin and Bobby Wagner. Now, we still got to see the Bucs D line do something. We just need them to do something. In particular, the outside pass rush. Oh, I got super chats. Okay, hold on. Let me look at the super chats. No, I'm sorry. I'm watching the game and I'm talking at the same time and I'm trying to fight through this voice situation. I've been taking cough drops all day and my throat is like starting to shut down. So I'm trying to get through this as quick as possible. It was about an hour and 39 minutes. I'm trying to get this, but it's been tough. I'm fighting through this. I'm gonna wrap it up in a little bit. All right. So we got some super chats. Third Matic, $5 super chat. This is the best Bucs O I've ever seen. That's correct. That is absolutely true. I don't think there's no denying that. I mean, I think we can all agree with that. Matter of fact, I need to look up that stat. Hold on a second. I want to look at the rushing stats for the Bucs for the over the last 10 years. I really want to look at that. All right, let me look this up real quick. I want to see the Bucs total rushing yards the last like 10, 15 years. I think that's a fascinating stat. I want to see this. All right, got another super chat. Okay. I gotta see this. I really want to see this. So we got Malcolm Harvey with a $10 super chat. Yo, what's good, Isaiah? I hope everything is well. This Notre Dame game got me thinking, how would you feel about us drafting Benjamin Morris, even though he's not playing? I don't know. I haven't got a chance to take a look at him. I'm gonna take a look at him though. Benjamin Morris. I want to take a look at him. I haven't got a chance to. I haven't got a chance to take a look at him. But I will. More part about $10 super chat off topic, but you're seeing Liam Coen's plans to stay in OC much longer. This might raise bowl season if we can get dogs on that defensive side of the ball. He interviewed with Jacksonville, or he's scheduled to interview with Jacksonville. There's 6 jobs opening. I mean, if you do the math, as far as like candidates, he's one of the candidates. There's 6 jobs opening, six head coaching jobs open right now, and the betting odds got him going to Jacksonville for some strange reason. The wager, I think it's like minus 250 to go to Jacksonville. To stay in the state of Florida and to go to Jacksonville to be the head coach. I'm not saying that it's gonna happen. I'm just saying that's the betting odds. I think it's negative 250. He's number one. Jacksonville, they want somebody innovative. They want somebody with a different, that can work with quarterbacks, with an innovative scheme, yada yada yada. Ben Johnson, Liam Coen checks the box. The problem is with Jacksonville is Trent Baalke. Don't nobody want to work with him. They need to fire Trent Baalke. They won't fire him for some strange reason. But they got Trevor Lawrence, Trevor Etienne, Tank Bigsby, Brian Thomas Jr., Evan Ingram. They got a couple guys out there, So they just got to get I don't know, man. Hopefully Liam Coen stays, but nobody knows exactly what's going to happen there. You can make your observations on he's staying or he's leaving, but nobody knows. Just speculation. It's all speculation now. I hope he stays. I think if he does stay, I think it'll be one more year. If he does stay, it'll be one more year. I don't see him staying past 2 years. Because if he comes back for the second season and do the same thing, then I think what my point is whether we like it or not, he's going to be a head coach at some point, whether it's this offseason or next offseason, if he comes back and do the same thing. Right? But my mind is already kind of like, all right, the guy's good. Like, he's either gonna go now or he's gonna go next year. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. We'll probably up with a $10 super chat. Don't worry, this weekend the Bucs gonna swerve and bend the corner. Whoa, we will tweak that bit. Yeah, that's the Angelo Ball song. It's hot now. I'm not into that stuff like that. Appreciate the $10 super chat. More probably $50 super chat. Hey yo, bro, open the locker room for a little second for the 2025. I will for the game, not right now. I'm over my limit already. But I'll open it up for the game Monday. So stay tuned for that. The locker room will be open for the game, and we will chat during the game. I think it'll be pretty cool to have a playoff locker room edition, but I'm struggling right now. Um, but I don't have the voice to talk for another 2 hours. I did enough. I went over. I'm 45 minutes over. I gave myself an hour, so I stretched it out for 45 more minutes, and it's a struggle, but I'm fighting through it. But the locker room, I open it up uh, during the game. Um, uh, yeah, so I'm trying to figure out that. Yeah, so all right, let's see it. Let's see if I can find it like this. So yeah, here we go. Let me go back. Did y'all know Bucky Irvin is 18th in Bucs rushing history right now? He's ranked number 18. Rashad White ranks 11th in the Bucs history running the ball. Did y'all know that? That's crazy. Rashad White ranks 11th in Bucs history in rushing. That's insane. All right, here we go. So let me give y'all the stats here. Um, so last season, the Bucs had 1,500 yards rushing. 1,500 yards rushing. 1,509. This season they had 2,563 yards rushing. And then prior to that season, this is a fascinating thing, folks. I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to hear this before I wrap this. I want y'all to hear this. In 2023, the Bucs had 1,308 yards. In 2022, the Bucs had 1,308 yards. In 2021, they had 1,672 yards. 1,672 yards in 2021. In 2020, they had 1,519 yards in 2020, Super Bowl year. I'm just proving the point, folks. 2019, they had 1,521 yards. 2018, 1,523 yards. 2017, 1,448 yards. 2016, 1,616 yards. That was Doug Martin's Doug Martin year. Yep. That's when Doug Martin was running the ball. Yep. I was 2016. No, I'm sorry, 2015. I'm sorry. 2016, he didn't run the ball well. So yeah, 20 I'm sorry, yeah. That was 2015. So 2016, it was 1,616 yards. So 2015, the Bucs had the year they went 6-10. They had 2,162 yards in 2015. I'm gonna repeat. In 2015, they went 6-10 that year. That was Winston's rookie season. They had 2,162 yards. So 9 years later, they finally broke 2,000. Even without Baker Mayfield rushing the ball, the Bucs still had over 2,000 yards rushing. Let that sink in, folks. Let that sink in. 2015 was the last time the Bucs had over 2,000 yards rushing. That's how bad our run game. That was Winston's rookie season. So Lovie Smith leaned heavy on the run game. Doug Martin had 1,402 yards. So that shows you right there, folks. So for basically, so from 2016 to 2023, Bucs basically had no run game. And the rankings were in the 20s. Like if you average out the running game rankings for 2015 all the way to 2023, like 26 ranked run offense for 8 years, averaged out, 26 ranked. And we did get a Super Bowl out of that. So that's why I've been screaming for y'all for years. I went back 8 years, folks. 8 years. Well, really 9, but 9 years ago, the Bucs had over 2,000 yards rushing. 9 years ago. Remember, Dort Cutter, Todd Monken, Bruce Arians, Byron Leftwich, Dave Canales. 2015 to 2023. That was the OCs. I can even go back to 2014. The Bucs had 1,375 yards rushing. It was bad in 2014 as well. See, nobody really talked about this. See, I'm adding so much context to the Bucs running game. This is why I'm so happy that the Bucs got a run game. Numbers don't lie, folks. Tape don't lie. You might not like what I got to say, but I'm always gonna give you some black and white. Hopefully, my voice feels better Monday for the primetime game. I hope it does. It's getting worse. Yeah, I like giving out context because sometimes fans, not just Bucs fans, but sometimes fans in general, they tend to focus on one player. The reason why the team is losing because of this one player. No, that's not how it works. This is why I emphasize context. You can't focus on one guy. Look at the scheme. Look at the coaches. Look at what they're doing. Look at the players. Do they match the system? Look at the O line. Look at the D line. Look at the secondary. Look at the linebackers. Look at the outside pass rush. Look at the cornerbacks. Look at the tackles. Look at the guards. Look at the center. Look at the running backs. Look at these things and just look at it. Don't ignore everything around and just focus on that one player that you don't like. Okay, I get it. You don't like this guy. Okay, I get it. It's not a problem. Look, I will say this. I don't dislike no player in the NFL. I don't personally dislike any player in the NFL. So for those of you that dislike players, that tells me a lot about your character. I don't like this guy because he did this and he did this. But do you know him? So you don't like this guy even though you don't know him. You know him, you watch him on the field, or you hear the media narratives, but you don't like him. I don't understand that. I don't dislike no player in the NFL. Some of you dislike players. That's not in my character. To each his own, though. To each his own. That means I need you. Well, you need to get out your feelings. But anyway, I just wanted to add that last piece of context with the run game. Shout out to Liam Coen. If he gets a head coaching job, New England. Let me just say this. Last piece. The best fit for Liam Coen, whether it's this year or next year, whenever he decides he wants to be a head coach, I'm gonna give you some teams. Just based on what they got, like Jacksonville, the Bears, the Colts. I'm talking about this year and next year. Jacksonville, the Bears, the Colts, and I'm talking about just based on what he can do. The Bengals. I don't think that. I think the Giants. Like, you can get your guy. You know. But there's some teams out there. Cleveland. There's some teams that Liam Coen can go to whenever he chooses. The Raiders, whatever, there's 6 teams that job's open. So I don't want him to go to the Saints, though. I don't want him to go to the Saints. Stay away from the Saints. But if he does get a head coaching job, more power to him. I'm not going to hate on him. I'm going to congratulate him. I'm going to wish him the best, whether it's this year or next year. I think at some point, he's going to get a job. Some of you might not like to hear this, but he's going to get a job, folks. There's 6 jobs that's open. Name me 6 head coaching candidates. Matter of fact, real quick, give me 6 there's 6 teams that need coaches. Name me 6 candidates better than Liam Coen. Can you do that? Real quick. Name me 6 candidates better than Liam Coen based on what the league is going to. Name me 6 candidates this offseason better than Liam Coen. Because you can't sit there and say, well, he's got to have head coaching experience. Not really. Because Gerard Mayo got hired with no experience. Antonio Pierce got, what I'm saying? So name me 6 candidates. If you can name me 6 legit candidates better than Liam Coen, if teams had to go down the list, like let's just say the best candidate is Mike Vrabel. Mike Vrabel is the best candidate. Cool, he's off the list. Next candidate, Ben Johnson. Cool. He's off the list. Next candidate, Aaron Glenn. Cool. He's off the list. So that's 3. That's 3. Then there's still 3 more teams. Who's next? What other candidates is better than Liam Coen? Because I'm just trying to get y'all mentally prepared. Like, I don't want him to leave, but who is the hotter names? All the hot names are going to get picked. So if all these teams want Mike Vrabel, and once he takes a job, whether it's the Jets, the Patriots, or the Bears, okay, he's gone. That means let's go. Oh yeah, Joe Brady. Okay, that's 4. Still got 2 more jobs. So let's do it. Let's do a hypothetical real quick. Oh, I'm struggling. Let's just say Mike Vrabel goes to the Patriots. Boom, he's off. Ben Johnson goes to the Bears. Aaron Glenn goes to the Saints. Boom. You still got the Raiders, right? You still got the Raiders sitting out there. You still got the Jacksonville Jaguars sitting out there, and The Jets. And let's just say Joe Brady goes to forget. Let's say Joe Brady goes to the Jags. Okay, you got the Jets and the Raiders. See what I'm saying? They're still going to be. Is Brian Flores going to get looked at a head coach job? I don't know. He might not because of his past. I don't know. David Shaw, really? Liam Coen checks the boxes, folks. Liam Coen checks the boxes. Young, innovative, energetic. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't be surprised he'd take the Jacksonville Jaguar job. I wouldn't be mad at him. Like, I hope folks don't get mad at Liam Coen. Whether he leaves this year or next year, don't get mad at him, man. Like, don't get mad. It's just gonna be hard. Like I said, it's hard to pick 6 guys better than Liam Coen. You can maybe pick 4. Joe Brady and Liam Coen, that's a toss-up. I mean, Tom Brady's with the Raiders, the Jets, and the Jags. I would say those 3 teams, and maybe even the Bears. Yeah, so 4 teams, I think, will probably be like, if they can't get their guys. You know what I'm saying? Like people getting like, oh, like people being omnipotent, talking about, oh, Liam Coen ain't going nowhere. How do you know that? How do you know Liam Coen not going anywhere? Yeah, he could say, oh, I'm happy. Yeah, he's happy, but to be a head coach, you don't get a lot of chances. Now, I think he'll have another chance next year. I think there are going to be like 7 jobs open next year. So it's either going to be this year or next year, folks. Right. Like people acting like they have all the answers. Oh, he ain't going nowhere. He gonna take Todd Bowles' job. How do you know this? You hoping that it happens, but you don't know. You don't know. It sounds good that having his best time of his life and he's enjoying Tampa and all that, but and it's only 32 jobs to be a head coach. Now he can pull a Ben Johnson and wait, but I mean, look what happened to Bobby Slowick. Look what happened to Lou Arimno, whatever. The Bengals DC was a candidate for head coaching job. Bobby Slowick, the Texas OC, was a hot candidate for a head coaching job. And then you came back the following year and you struggled. So you got to strike when the iron's hot. Strike when the iron's hot, man. I ain't mad at him. Oh, he ain't going nowhere. The Glazers not gonna let him leave the building. And what's your sources? Oh, so your sources is trust me, bro. Any Bucs fan that say that, talking about he ain't going nowhere, what's your sources? Your sources is trust me, bro. Like, you got to be kidding me. Because how you feel he ain't going nowhere? Now, if he doesn't go anywhere, that doesn't mean you're right. Now, Robert Saleh, the reports on him is, well, Kyle Shanahan, based on reports, is going to offer him the DC job again. That's what the reports say. They're going to offer Robert Saleh the DC job again in San Francisco. Yeah. So, Liam Coen ain't going nowhere. I know that for a fact. Based on what? Trust me, bro. That's your sources. Like what? What information do you have that? Like what access do you have in the Bucs building that I don't have for you to say that? Who do you know? Oh, the Glazers ain't letting him leave at all. They're gonna make him the highest paid OC in the league. Okay, cool. How do you know that? Because, man, trust me, bro. I just know. Man, get out of here, man. That don't work with me. Give me some hard facts. Don't give me no trust me, bro sources. Bucket with your girl. Trask out of here, man. For those of you that look, can y'all just stop asking about Kyle Trask, man? Like, and it's not directed at you, Bucket with your girl. Just let it go, man. Let it go. Let the Kyle Trask stuff go, man. It's over with. Like, damn, like y'all just gotta stop this, man. Y'all get help. I'm not talking to Bucket with your girl. I'm just, oh my, get help. Get help. It's just ridiculous. It's a beating a dead horse now, man. It's like, why do you keep asking about it? What's the point? Like, damn. What's the point of asking about Kyle Trask? It's over with. Like, LIG it. Let it go. It ain't happening. Are you praying for Baker Mayfield to get hurt? Damn. Y'all want to see Baker Mayfield get hurt so y'all can see Kyle Trask get in? God damn. Like, get over it, man. Like, Jesus Christ. It's just like you want Todd Bowles to get fired. It ain't happening. Todd Bowles is not getting fired, man. He went 10-7. Won in the division for 4 years in a row. Or 3 years in a row. 3 years in a row. He's won the division and he went 10-7. And both OCs he hired, or one OC he hired was the head coach, and the one he got right now is the future head coach. Todd Bowles is getting fired, and they're gonna hire Liam Coen. Based on what, Mo? Based on what? Man, based on trust me, bro. That was a Jason Light bummified pick. That was a terrible draft pick. Should have drafted O-line, linebacker, cornerback. He drafted a quarterback in the second round. Now that's one of them Jason Light moves where I gotta ding him on that. I gotta, like, he's made some good draft picks. Don't get me wrong, but some of them draft picks, man, I'll be like, man, what was that? Should have been a cornerback. Should have been a D lineman. Something. Kyle Trask. That man was a 5th, 6th, 7th round pick. Should never been a 2nd round pick. I mean, damn. I even thought it was a stretch picking him in the 2nd round. Yeah, I seen that Buck with your girl. They got a petition to get Bowles fired. Man just went 10-7. Goodness gracious. Bucs fans can be ruthless, man. Like, for real, man. They want Todd Bowles to get fired. And I'm not a Todd Bowles fan, but the man just went 10-7. What the hell do you expect? You think from the fire after a 10-7 season? 3 straight division champions? Y'all tripping, man. Anyway, who y'all got winning the game Monday night? Who y'all got winning the game? And what's the score? What's your score predictions as we wrap this up? I need score predictions. Hurry up. I'm down for the count. Score predictions. I'm sorry, Sunday night. My bad. Sunday night. I got my days mixed up. Score predictions. My bad. Sunday night. My bad. I got my days mixed up. First down. Hurry up. Score predict. Hey. We're going to have to talk offline. I need you to call me. Bucket with your girl, you're going to have to call me. We got to have a conversation. We got to have that conversation offline. You're going to have to call me on that one. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, like, we need a one-on-one session, a therapy session, something. Like, what's up? I just want to understand. I just want to understand how did you come up with that? No hate, but we're gonna talk offline. We need to have a conversation, one-on-one, because I need to break down. On how did you come up with that? Like, what's going to happen for that score to happen? What you got happening that's going to have that outcome? I'm just curious. You got the Commanders winning? I ain't trying to put you on blast. I'm just saying. Um, I don't know about that Bucs girl. I don't know. I don't know. I got the Bucs winning 35-31. Well, no, I'm sorry. Did I say that right? 35. Yeah, I was thinking of it was 35. Yeah, 35-31. Yeah, 35-31. Yeah. Bucky Irving gonna have a really good game. Defense is gonna make stops here and there. We're gonna be up early. You know, we're gonna be up early, and then the Commanders they're gonna come back late. But the game's gonna kind of be like over. But they're gonna kind of make it a game late. And hopefully Tarbos controls Jalen Daniels. So I got the Bucs winning. Oh, BucosLocker, but you are negative. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't like the Bucs. You're negative. I want to argue with you just because. But you negative, BucosLocker. Yeah, I know. You had the Bucs winning the division, going out in 18-7, and it happened. I know you picked the Bucs with the Commanders, but you're still negative. Like what? What are you talking about? You don't dictate nothing over here. I run the BucosLocker over here. I run this over here. You don't dictate anything over here. Anyway, I'm not even going to go there with it, but I'll be watching everything. 2025, nobody's getting me off my square. Nobody. No matter what you say in the comment section, it doesn't matter. Understand that part. Anyway, 35-31. 35-31. We're going to be up early too, folks. Bucky Irving going to have a monster game. This is going to be Bucky Irving's. Like, hello, everybody. I think Bucky Irving going to have about $140. The Bucs going to have $140. Bucky Irving going to have $140 on the ground. Shaw White going to have some good screen catches. Mike Evans going to have a really good game. The defense going to make timely stops. Mm-hmm. Jalen McMillan going to do his thing. Bucky Ducky. No, it's Ducky Irving, man. It's Ducky Irving. It's Ducky Irving, man. Yeah, Rashad White literally got his job taken away. He need to take that #1 jersey off too. Rashad White, no disrespect, but I'm gonna need you to come off that jersey, fam. Does anybody got a Rashad White jersey? Did anybody buy his jersey? Ducky Irving, man. Did anybody buy a Rashad White jersey? I didn't. Y'all remember that? But yeah, let's have some fun, folks. Sunday night, locker room open. The locker room will be open. It'll be people can come in and out. But I got the Bucs winning, man. 35-31, man. Let's do it. Oh, I got one more super chat. Hold on. I ain't almost didn't see it. One last super chat. More power buck. $10 super chat. Cut a white onion in half. Sprinkles a little sugar on the exposed side. Place it in a concealed container, and put the container in the cabinet and let it ooze. And take the syrup like cough syrup. Gotcha. I do have an onion, but it's a red onion. I have a red onion. Bucket with your girl. I'm gonna need you to be the first in the locker room. I need you to be the first in the locker room because we gonna have a conversation. Don't run bucket with your girl. You got the Bucs losing because of the defense. I got you. I can respect that though, but I need you in the locker room. Sunday, bucket with your girl. I need you in the locker room. I need you in the locker room. Matter of fact, since you made that prediction, I gotta make you the co-host. Now you gotta stand on that. You gotta take the heat. So now you gotta be the co-host. You gotta be the co-host. You're the only one that made that prediction. So now you gotta take the heat that comes with it. Because I take the heat. I take the heat a lot on my channel, on my predictions. I need you to feel that too. So you can understand how it goes when you go against the grain. You know, because I went against the grain and I picked against the Bucs and I took some heat behind that. Call me negative and all that stuff like that. But I don't think you've ever experienced that, and I'm gonna need you to experience that Sunday night. So you're gonna be the co-host. And please remind people that you had the Bucs losing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't be scared. Don't be scared to let people know that you picked the Commanders. Because this will be an experience that you need to go through. I know you have a channel, everything like that. You need to go through this. This is one of the things that comes with it, having the channel. I don't want you to be like Shannon Sharp. When Shannon Sharp asked Dan Orlowski, when was the last time a triple threat receiver didn't make the playoffs, and Dan Orlowski hit him with the your brother, Sterling Sharp. I think it was 1992, and Shannon Sharp was like, but that was 30 years ago. But that was we had a. Anyway, don't be scared, bucket with your girl. I got you. I'll hold your hand. I'll hold your hand. Yeah. He said, when the last time a triple threat didn't make the playoffs? And Dan Orlowski was like, he gave him that smile and pointed that finger, your brother. Because, Jamar Chase, the most catches, the most receiving yards, and the most touchdowns as a receiver that didn't make the playoffs. The last time it happened was 30 years ago. Sterling Sharp, Shannon Sharp's brother. And Shannon Sharp was like, oh, what are you talking about? That was 30 years ago. And Dan Orlowski was like, well, you asked me when the last time it happened. You're a brother. And Shannon Sharp was like, he was fumbling and stumbling. It was funny. Called him too. He got cooked bad. But yeah, so bucket with your girl. Stand on your business. Stand on 10 toes. Stand on 10 toes. And it's gonna make you better too. Like, it's gonna make you better. Yep. The number one passing quarterback, the most passing yards, Joe Burrow. They had the NFL sack leader in Trey Hendrickson. They had the NFL leading receiver in 3 categories: catches, yards, and catching touchdowns, and didn't make the playoffs. That was crazy. But yeah, so all right, Buck with your girl. This is your first opportunity, man. Like, you got. Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you right now, Bucket with your girl. It gets a little hot. The heat does get hot. It heats up real quick. When people find out that you picked the Bucs to lose, they're gonna heat you up. They're gonna heat you up. They're gonna heat it up, and the room gonna get real hot and real loud. And every time the Bucs do something good, they're gonna be on you. I'm just giving you a heads up. Anyway, shouts out to all the Pirates and Sea Bandits. Thank you for joining. Live session, locker room talk. I'm running on fumes right now. With that being said, fire those cannons. Seize the day. Raise the flag. Hashtag bucket with your girl. Hashtag Ducky Irvin. Hashtag facts and feelings. Hashtag possibility over probability or probability over possibility. Hashtag optimism over reality. Hashtag don't get mad at me. I don't play the game. I just talk about it. Hashtag why. Hashtag what are we doing? Hashtag what is this? Hashtag he really like that. I'll see y'all Sunday night. The locker room will be open. BucosLocker with the co-host. Bucket with your girl. Be there or be square and be left behind. BucosLocker. Signing out.